Brooke, don't fold. There's no Brooke, don't fold. Damn, like that's not even a double. That's a triple homicide. God damn. What it do, crew? It is I, your local cloud nigga Nimbus, back at it again with another One Piece live review for you today. Now, with all that being said, let's get into peak, where I will be doing my review of One Piece chapter 1186, titled One More Time. Just my flat rating of the chapter. I'm gonna give this chapter, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give this chapter a solid 8, 7.5 around there. But I'm feeling nice because it's book related. I'm giving it an 8. And this chapter did give us a lot to think about. When I pull up my notes, I can see I have a long list of notes to hit to for this review. First and foremost, I have to come clean. In case y'all been counting, I put down a parlay for how long this flashback was going to be, because you know Oda likes his long ass flashbacks, right? The money line was 5.5, so over or under 5.5, and I chose the over. You know, I thought Oda got me good with the flashback. I thought he'd feed us, give us more books backstory to feed us. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Going back, I counted, and it has only been a 3-chapter backstory. So unfortunately, my parlay is cooked. But hey, it's okay, you know. Thankfully, I wasn't putting real money down on the line. Hopefully, you weren't either, because if not, I'm sorry. Now, on to the chapter itself. There was something I did forget to mention in my last review, and that was in my original read-through of like the last chapter. I originally thought that it was the Marines and the Cypher Pole that were attacking Asperia. But in actuality, it's the Marines and the Marone family. It's not Cypher Pole. I didn't peep that until I went back, did some more digging and looking at their outfits and other stuff. So yeah, that is interesting, the fact that they are working with the same mobster family that's in the area. And the same mobster family that they've been trying. Actually, that even makes more sense because the Marines caught the mobsters. You know, they probably got, you know, locked in there or whatever. So, you know, small little story theorizing, you know, in the background. We cut back over to obviously Brook losing his goddamn mind. With everything that's happening right now, running over to the king, trying to check on him. It's just like, bro, are you okay? Are you good? Are you okay? And that's when he just finds out that, like, hey, the king is dead. Hey, it's just like as you wanted. The king. Oh my goodness, I just peeped. I just put together the foreshadowing Oda just did there. Yeah, I'm kind of slow. Listen. I never claimed to be a genius. Oh my goodness, but yeah. Obviously, he flashes back to all the good memories he has with the king, especially when they first met. As he is just going through getting so distraught as he's calling for a medic, right? And this is something I've seen, like, certain people agree with me and certain people don't agree with me on this. Someone slams the door shut, right? Now, the room they're currently in is filled with smoke. We're going to get to the smoke thing in a bit, but also there are 4 people in this room. There's Marcus. Marcus. I'm pretty sure Marcus in this scenario is just Imu, you know, taking the shape of Marcus, or using Marcus's body, right? We have the Holy Knight, Brook, and then we have Shuri, aka Gunko at this point. And like from what it's looking like I don't know, from what it's looking like right here, this look kind of little blob right there that looks like Imu. That kind of looks like his little like his kind of like shadowy form type shit, right? And like I can understand that, just people confusing that or maybe like a wisp of the Omen fame, and really it was the smoke. That Holy Knight used the smoke to close the door. But I really think that was Imu, because one, why would Oda have Imu literally show his face apart from Marcus' silhouette? Literally the scene before showing the door and then showing it closed. So I really think it was Imu who closed the door right there. But enough about who closed the door. Now we go over to Shuri's monologue, where she keeps referring to the king, her father, as that guy or this guy, depending on your translation. And Brook is all starting to tweak out. He's like, yo, watch your mouth. This is your father. You don't call him that guy. This man raised you. And that's when she classes back. It's just like, yo, this nigga is not my father. And which honestly threw me for a fucking loop. I'm not gonna hold you. Now, leading up to this chapter, I did start to see the theory that Gunko wasn't Luvin's daughter. But I'm like, okay, you know, that I can see that. I can see that. But like when I first initially read it, I'm like, oh shit. Then tell me, Brook, did you know that I'm a celestial dragon? This guy wasn't my real father. Did you know that? Ooh, Candle. I told you I didn't trust it. I told you I knew it. I knew it. Hold on. Let's see. That demand for 1,000 slaves isn't true. This guy just didn't want to hand me over. Stop calling him that. This guy was a good-for-nothing king who pointlessly led his people to their doom. Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't too like, you know, like, yeah, Harold, like we all knew Harold was gonna die, right? At first, like, I'm like, so I wasn't like too surprised. I wasn't gonna get attached to Harold because I knew he was gonna die anyways. But hearing that, ooh, and knowing that the baby is his, ooh, that hurts. Ooh, bro, RP Harold, bro. RP Harold. But here I was just getting rid of smoke on his pack, bro. Oh my goodness. Oof. Damn, like that's not even a double, that's a triple homicide. God damn. Ooh, fuck. So unfortunately, Lovin, yeah, like an episode of Maury.
You are not.
God damn, bro. God damn. Sucks to suck, man. Sucks to suck. Which is even more unfortunate because then we find out that the entire reason why the world government is even coming here, the entire reason why they even wanted the 1,000 slaves, or actually the 1,000 slaves weren't even real. Like, the entire reason the world government was coming is because they wanted her, and he wasn't willing to give her up. I gotta give my respects to Livin. I'm not gonna lie, I was really prepared to smoke on your pack today, but unfortunately, you died a legend, gang. RIP, salute. So after she just got done healing that book, telling her the last 15 years of her life had been a waste, the Holy Knight that's been chilling in the corner, you know, puffing on his cig, finally speaks up, and he's just like, "Yo, I remember you," thus confirming that this celestial dragon was indeed this. This Holy Knight was indeed the celestial dragon that pulled up on Asperia, you know, a few years ago, and then Kendall was bedridden, right? Now we find out that he is a Knight of God, Saint Mainmire Garou, right? Ooh, I knew it! I called it. I mean, it's probably I mean, truthfully, there was only a couple more options, but wait a minute. If he's a Mainmire, is this who Kendall cracked? And then he lifts his head up just while he's talking to Brooke, where it shows that he got heterochromia, where Brooke finally has to come to the realization that yes, Shuri's not Lovin's daughter, unfortunately. Which, I remember you now. There was a kid with an afro among Kendall's attendants. You weren't allowed to come near me. Ooh, the Ooh, I knew it. I even pointed that out when I first saw that. I'm like, yo, none of her parents have had. Oh my god! I always, even back then, even in my first original chapter review when we just got to the flashback, I'm like, yo, none of her parents have heterochromia. What the fuck is going on? And then that's when we finally get this guy, Garou. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident, almost like 80% confident that like he is probably the originator of like the toxic smog and smoke that plagued Asperia and that's currently sitting in this room right now. But I don't think it's the Doku Doku no Mi. I don't think it's Smoker's Fruit. I think it's something else. And if it is Smoker's Fruit, then I'm not gonna lie, bro. Just when you thought smoker stocks couldn't get any lower, if this nigga has his devil fruit and is pulling some shit like this, boy, oh my goodness, I would hate to be a smoker fan. He continues to go on and say, he's just like, yeah, normally we wouldn't come all the way out into the boonies for just any random old girl or any old rent. Fuck. So then he continues to say, he's like, yeah, we wouldn't really come out here in the middle of nowhere for any random old brat. But because she has the same like heterochromia that I do, she has the potential to unlock some sort of special eye power that I wasn't able to. Where Imu cuts him off and just like, yo, shut the fuck up! After being told to shut the fuck up by Imu, Garou's like, alright, Shuri, would you be a dear? Where Shuri, you know, steps up to the plate, steps up to Brooke, and he's just constantly telling her to wake up, Shuri. Like, this can't be real. You must be dreaming. I changed your diapers. I watched you grow. I know everything about you, Princess Shuri. And she just continues to step closer and closer with nothing but this cold, deadpan expression in her eyes. And she's looking at him, and she's just telling him, and he's essentially just calling him a bitch. Like, deadass, calling him a bitch-ass nigga, truthfully. He's just like, yo, stand up, nut up, fight me, essentially, because your life is on the line. And I play for keeps. But Brook, unfortunately, he can't separate the demon in front of him from the girls he knew growing up. Oh, Brook, don't fold. Brook, don't fold. Bon vivant. Just, oh my god, I completely forgot about his scar. I completely forgot about that this entire flashback he didn't have the scar. This is where he gets the scar. Whoa, I didn't, bro, like this entire time I didn't even, oh fuck, I'm an idiot. Oh, so he drops his sword, and we get the money shot of the chapter, where Shuri, or Gunko at this point, stabs Brook directly through the head. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I did pop when I saw this because I completely forgot. Up to this point in the flashback, Brook didn't have that scar on his head. So when I saw that, I put two and two together. I'm like, yo, oh, this is where he got the scar from. Like, I actually did pop for that, right? And something that I also noticed when I was doing my research for this review, right? We are also getting a lot of like spotlight on Brook's fighting style in this flashback, right? Because beforehand, we really didn't know too much about Brook's fighting style outside of like, you know, he's like more of like a fencer more than like an actual like, you know, he's more likely to use a rapier than like a katana type beat, right? But with the techniques he used, Gavotte Bon Avant, if you translate that just means Gavotte is just a French style of dance, and Bon Avant means just step forward. So this is kind of like essentially a forward piercing slash. That's what this is, right? So I think we finally have a name for Brook's fighting style, which is Gavotte. I think that's his fighting style, because I'm pretty sure that's this fighting style that Brook taught Shuri, and that's the fighting style Brook learned from Candle. So more lore about, you know, sword styles and sword fighting in One Piece. All is good, except for if you're a Mihawk fan, because all that shit is just a Mihawk upscale. But hey, you guys have fun with all that shit. And as he continues to sing this song in his head, you see his body fall back into the smog and flames as Shuri and her father walk off into the distance away from the castle. We cut over to a couple of days ago. Brook miraculously healed, and I'm not gonna lie, I did roll my eyes heavily when he lived. Even though I know Brook survives to present day, I'm just like, Oda, please, you can't be like, you could have at least like a slash or like whatever the fuck, but just like just straight through the head. You really just wanted to draw it for that dramatic scene. Like, I get it, it's a cold ass scene, it's a crazy ass scene. I fuck with it heavy, but also it's a scene that had to happen because he got stabbed in the head. Now he doesn't remember anything that happened that night. Well, he doesn't remember it fully, as the people are telling him just like oh yeah, the blade missed majority of like major arteries in the brainstem, but then they tell him like, yeah, we lost, the king is dead, and Shuri's evil. Essentially, they give him the rundown. He starts to get many flashes in and out of the king dying. In his head, Shuri doesn't have any demon horns. Lovin doesn't have any demon horns or wings. Like, in his head, Shuri just turned evil. So there we have the explanation of why Brook doesn't fully remember everything that happened that night. But I'm assuming, as we cut back to the present, he's able to put two and two together, realizing that, yeah, demons are real. And as he's crying in front of all the Straw Hats, he's pleading with them, yo, I understand everything she's probably done in the 44 odd years in her life and up until what she's doing to Elbaf, but please help me save her. And obviously, the Straw Hats, being 10 toes type of niggas they are, of course they gonna slide. But obviously we know there's no way of freeing anyone out of Ragnar's ice except if you're Ragnar, which is why I feel like Usopp for sure is going to be able to team up with Ragnar at some point, because while Frankie, Nami, and Jinbei are all like priming their strongest attacks to try and break that ice, Usopp's just like looking around, just like, yeah, that god just tried to use explosions and it didn't work. I don't know what else I can do. So yeah, Brook runs off, in a hurry, fully motivated to go save his former protege. We cut over to the cafeteria at the Warwick School Library, where we're nearing towards the end of the chapter, where Luffy takes off his boots and puts on his BTA sandals, man. You know, as soon as Luffy put them slides on, bruh, it is go time, nigga. I'm talking, bruh. Luffy putting on his slides is equivalent to Goku taking off his shirt, bruh. It's cooked, bruh. Luffy's feeling Imu's haki. He's like, okay, if this guy's an enemy of Elbaf, then he's an enemy of mine. And he sends off, and he goes off flying. And he says, with the way I'm feeling right now, I can't lose. We all know this nigga's gonna lose, right? like he's not gonna lose. He's gonna get. Like Luffy and Loki are going to win. They're gonna push back Imu, but they're not gonna beat him. Because I feel like Imu's timer on the surface is running out. Like I'm assuming him also do battle with Loki, someone who's like relative to him at this point. I think we can all agree that at least Loki and Imu are kind of relative, especially like this current version of Imu. Like Imu on the surface world, because I'm pretty sure just being in the surface world already is weakening him greatly. So this version of Imu is relative to Loki, right? And they've been battling for a good little minute now, because mind you, while we were in that backstory, them two niggas were dead ass just having a clash of titans, genuinely. So I do think, like, you know, they are gonna push him back, but they're for sure not beating that nigga's ass like all the way. Now that is some shit I would put money on. So as Luffy jets off to go meet up with Loki and them, Loki and Imu are having a conversation, and he's just like, yo, Loki's just like, yo, why the hell do you guys keep coming out for kids? Why y'all so bitch made? Like, why do y'all keep, like, bruh, if y'all wanted to fight us so badly, bruh, do that shit with your own hands, man. Don't bring kids into this, right? And Imu was just like, oh, because it worked last time. 800 years ago, the giant race were defeated in a bid to rescue their children. So he's running this. So what I'm hearing is Emu's running the same play again. Abducting kids is Emu's the fuck you 3. Is that what I'm hearing? Because like Emu lets us know 800 years ago, the giant kind suffered a defeat in order to save their children. So Emu deadass said, like, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run SOS. Same old shit. Run it back. But it's funny that, like, you know, like out of all the go-to moves in your bags, kidnapping is just like your go-to shot. Like that's he goes on to say 800 years ago. What are you saying? A few centuries is not nearly enough to change the nature of a race. Without fail, thine people inevitably bend the knee when thine offspring is taken. Ignorance of the significance of what is occurring is irrelevant. History always repeats itself. It is already too late. Thou art all slaves of the moon. That's just the nature of your race. You guys just, whenever we pick up, whenever your children are involved, you guys just fold. That's just what it is. And to be honest, I feel like that's just kind of every creature that has children is just gonna fold once you start targeting their children, unless like you're a heartless monster. You're like, I feel that just kind of applies to everybody. But hey, you know, the giants ride hard for their kids. Pause. Major pause on that. And Emu, since he's spitting his hot shit, he's just like, yeah, I got your kids. You guys are essentially our slaves now. There's nothing you can do. And that's when Luffy, being Luffy, you prick, what are you trying to say? Hey, dumbass! Alright, Luffy's pulling up. Oh, yes, sir. I'm here with it, Luffy. And mink! Chin checks that nigga immediately. Like the most damage we've seen Luffy, like the most damage we've seen anybody do to Emu right then and there. And mind you, Luffy's in base. Now we are in for a fight because Luffy has just touched down. Oh, we in for a glorious 2v1. We are in for a glorious 2v1. This is important. With the flashback coming to an end and King Leuven being dead, especially with Gunko always referring to him as that guy, I think we can kind of put like an end to the Leuven being a Davy Clan member. Like I still don't like. It's still a possibility. Like the entire. It's still very much a possibility. That he could have been a Davy, but I completely doubt it because at first I thought like Kendall was the God Knight that was there to investigate that, but just turning out that yeah, she was just there. Like the entire reason the God Knight was there was because of her and not really because of King Living. Kind of like puts the whole King Living being a Davy to bed. I'm not gonna hold you. But it was a nice theory. And I feel like Oda was trying to kind of lead us in that direction, especially like with how close he kind of resembled Rocks and Blackbeard almost, but we will never really know fully. Now, after everything we've seen with the Brook backstory and everything that we've learned, does Brook have the saddest backstory in all of One Piece? Because honestly, right now, the top 3 contenders for saddest backstory in One Piece is Brook, Robin, and Kuma. Right? That's I feel like that should be everyone's top 3. Maybe you can include like Momonosuke and Tama, but I feel like that's like, you know, that's kind of like everyone's top 3, right? I do think her back. I want to say I do think his backstory is sadder than Robin's, like that, and that's really tough for me to say, especially with like the information we got, like when she met up with Saul, because I get a the deeper context Oda gave us around her backstory. Just with those small little scenes when she was meeting with Saul, really helped me contextualize like really how sad her backstory could have been or is. But I still think with everything we learned, I think Brook trumps that. Now all that stuff that's Kuma. Like Kuma, it's like both Kuma and Brook didn't really have a choice in getting fucked over, but like Kuma got fucked over in his face. That's what happened. Like Brook got fucked over, never knowing that like he was getting fucked over. Like the King never told him why the world government came. Obviously, like, you know, he can't control his parents being poor. Obviously, he got jumped. Him and his crew got jumped in the Florian Triangle with poison arrows. Like, you know, all of Brook's suffering was like stuff that like was like not outside sources, but sources that like were out of his control, right? You know, like mysterious sources, right? I feel that's a better word. Brook's stuff always came from like the mysterious source of like never knowing like all the information of what was going on, right? Kuma knew every single bit of bullshit that happened to him. The only thing he didn't know about was the Bonnie stuff. Like that Bonnie stuff he was like completely in the dark about because he wasn't getting the letters. But like every little bit of bullshit Kuma went through was directly blatantly in his face. And I think that hurts me more. That makes me feel more bad for him than Brook. So I will say I'm still going to give the edge to Kuma, just barely, but like Brook is for sure up there. Brook is for sure number 2. Like I might change my mind tomorrow, but I think I'm still going to give it to Kuma. With all that being said, I want to thank y'all for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and finally drop that sub. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Later.